Kendra Batchelder, the founder and CEO of Medara. She is advancing multimodal predictive analytics to identify patients at high risk for breast cancer. So, Kendra, take it away.
Yes, thank you, Donna. So, hello, everyone. My name is Kendra Batchelder, and like Donna said, I'm the founder and CEO of Medara, where we're working on developing a solution for the early detection of breast cancer. So, one of the main challenges that centers face is that most women that go on to develop invasive breast cancer do not have identifiable risk factors. So, if we look at all the women that are diagnosed each year, about 5% of them are related to a known genetic mutation, and less than 15% are related to family history. So, what's happening is these centers are not able to match patients with preventative care that already exists, as additional imaging, genetic testing, or lifestyle modifications. And so, what we've done is we've developed a predictive AI that helps clinicians identify women that are more likely to develop breast cancer in the future. So, the current approach to breast cancer screening is what's called secondary prevention. So, a doctor will look at a mammogram to detect any abnormalities. And then some software that exists, which is known as computer aided detection, will help in predicting if that abnormality is cancer or benign. And so our software also does that, but where we kind of differentiate is that we also are able to provide a risk assessment. So we also look at mammograms that are negative, meaning there's no abnormalities that are detected. And so we take in that current mammogram along with the prior imaging from that patient and clinical risk factors to predict if the patient will develop breast cancer over the next few years. So then that patient can go on to get more preventative care options, such as like an MRI for enhanced surveillance. And so this is important because right now, or actually last year, there were new FDA mandates that came out that now require centers to notify patients if they're at higher risk, and that mammography might not be as effective for them as some other imaging modalities. There's also been new protocols introduced for high-risk breast cancer screening using MRI as well. So this provides an opportunity for centers that are transitioning from full protocols, which traditionally take 45 minutes, to abbreviated protocols, which are about 15 minutes. So these centers, if they're able to identify patients that are at higher risk, can then offer more follow-up care through MRI for these patients as well. And so what happens is when the patient goes to MRI, you're going to find more precancerous lesions that you can intervene on, which is going to improve clinical outcomes, but also the operational efficiency and the overall quality metrics. And then in addition to these MRIs, if they're able to capture and get more women at high risk into more of these screenings, the center actually gets the same reimbursement for these MRIs, even though it's at half of the cost. So it provides a high profit margin increase as well for these centers. So our platform is designed to integrate with existing infrastructure and workflows. So it still uses the same gantry, so the mammogram machine that's currently used today. So a woman would come in, she would get a normal, regular screening mammogram. That image goes to the center's database, known as PACS, so Picture Archive and Communication System. Sometimes the information also goes into the EHR system. So our integration software interfaces with these databases through APIs. We pull in that information in real time. We do our analysis with the AI, and we have ways to put that information back into the image. This all takes about 1 minute. So by the time the radiologist opens up the mammogram to read, which is usually the next day, that score would be available to the radiologist to make recommendations for, say, that follow-up MRI. So when we compare our AI that we've developed so far with the state-of-the-art AI models, along with any other deep learning approaches, and also the standard of care, which is known as the Tyrer-Cuzick 8 model or the Gale model. These are like the family history type of models, lifestyle models. When we did our comparison, our AI significantly outperformed any of the models that are available today. So far, we have had academic funding along with dilutive funding through the support of the Runway program at Cornell Tech. We are collaborating with leading radiologists and cancer centers There's two in New York, one in Texas, one in Washington, and two internationals as well, which is going to allow us to get multiple different vendors. Or images from multiple different vendors so that we're prepared to go into our validation study for regulatory. We're also collaborating with a leading private payer as well. We have planned pilots with clinical sites, and this quarter we'll be starting our reference implementation with one of the vendors as well. So we're initially targeting multidisciplinary breast care centers. So these are the centers that offer both mammography and MRI screening. And the reason we're starting there is because we're able to capture a portion of that downstream revenue. So when the center sees their return on investment through the additional MRI, we're able to capture a portion of that. And as we're integrating into these sites, we're also going to be expanding our clinical evidence, which will allow us to go for a new technology add-on payment and ultimately a new CPT code, which will really open up the market to all U.S. breast care or U.S. breast imaging centers, which perform about 40 million mammograms per year across 9,000 U.S. sites. I do want to say this is just kind of the market entry point for our AI that we're developing. So we're starting with risk for several of the reasons I already described. We also are working on the computer-aided detection for screening, but our goal would also to be longer term to get involved with this AI for the scheduling, diagnostic, and matching with clinical trials. Once again, this is kind of the bigger vision. Once we have this whole patient navigation system built out for breast cancer, and we're starting with breast cancer because it's a very standardized approach to screening. So we'll build the system out for that, and then we will then expand to other types of cancers as well. So we will sell two breast imaging centers. So like I said, we have one reference implementation that we hope to start this quarter, or we will start this quarter. With a vendor, we will charge the imaging centers for onboarding, monthly subscriptions per report, and any customization that's required to have that score reach the patient. Along the way, we also are getting access to multimodal data. So not only mammograms, but clinical data, as well as genetic information as well to support our future development. As far as competition goes, most of what's available on the market is that what's called computer-aided detection, which is that second reader. So the FDA just approved the first predictive device last year. So that will be our predicate device. We're also developing not only for 2D mammography, like one of our competitors, we're also developing for tomosynthesis, which is 3D mammography. Because of our collaborations as well, we'll be vendor neutral. So we're going to be able to analyze all of the major vendors for mammography, as well as building out our multimodal data sets. So far we have two patents filed or licensed. We're operating under a quality management system and have two studies out. We're going to have a big year this year with reference implementations, preparing for our validation study. We've identified our 4 US sites and 1 international. The international one is specific to a vendor so that we do hit that vendor, all the different vendors. And then we'll obtain 510(k) clearance before implementing our go-to-market plans. We have an absolutely fantastic team that I don't even know where to start on. So there's many years of experience in the clinical, product development, AI, quality, and regulatory. We have former executives from Kaiser and IBM Watson Health. Several team members have had successful exits as well. I believe everybody has had some sort of startup experience as well. So today I'm asking for help with connecting with strategic partners and early stage health tech investors to kind of learn more and get feedback about our next steps. Thank you.
Thank you, Kendra. That was terrific. A lot of progress in the last couple of years. Questions, anybody? Advice?
Oh, I've got one. So that list of advisors looked remarkable. Are any of those folks, I couldn't tell, sort of leading imaging experts in breast care?
Yeah, so yes. So Dr. Pinker, radiologist, she's at Columbia. She was at MSK previously. She also runs the American College of Radiology Imaging Network, which is a network of 1,300 sites in the US and the EU. And then as far as the scientific and AI, that would be Mert Sabagu out of Cornell Tech and Weill Cornell.
Got it. And
Yeah.
is Dr. Pinker working with any other startups at the moment? Do you know? Or she's
Startups, no.
That's
And
great.
then as far as other breast imaging specifically, so David is the product engineer on the team. He came from another breast imaging company. He was there for 17 years. So he's led the engineering teams there as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes.
So, Kendra, maybe tell us a little bit about some of your immediate next steps here for your work.
Yeah, so our immediate next step is we're preparing a pre-submission for the FDA. So we're cleaning up our clinical protocols, cybersecurity risk mitigation plan as well. So we're working with the private payer as well to make sure so there's like the regulatory FDA requirements for security, but we're finding that the payers also have some additional requirements that they would like to see. So we're just making sure that the payer and the FDA align with what we're developing and planning.
It's a lot of work, a lot of compliance issues going forward, and certainly glad you found a predicate device that is useful to you.
Yes, so that came out last year. So we were on the de novo route, and then that switched. So we're now a 510(k).
Yeah, that's a much better pathway. Have you considered, will you launch without a FDA clearance, or do you want to go straight to the clearance? I mean, it gives you a
So
market edge.
So we went back and forth on that for a while, and we've decided to go right for FDA clearance because we already have the collaborations set up. Our validation study is retrospective, which means that the data it exists, right? It's already in most places have what we need in a research database already. So we need to run our algorithm to produce our accuracy scores there, test our cybersecurity, which we have a few different cybersecurity firms we're working or interviewing right now with to get that done, and then all of our documentation through our quality management system.
Super exciting. Super
Trying not to
exciting.
get distracted, we decided to go for regulatory.
Right, right. Great.